Hey guys, and welcome to the Valentine's Day cake class. I love this class because it's gravity defying. I make it super easy and you can make it however you want. Now, if you've done my classes before, this is a different angle of my cake room. It's my little cake pantry where I have my own little kitchen to do all this awesome stuff in. So you are getting a different view of what goes on in here. Usually it's really messy back there, but I cleaned it up just for you guys. Now, I'm going to take off my stuff, my ring, my bracelets, just so that nothing gets in the way. As you can see, let's go this way. She's going to be here in about a month, and I'm super excited. I can breathe normal again. I can start running, walking, jogging. So, update, baby, she'll be here in about a month. So if she comes sooner, I mean, I welcome it. All right, so back to the Valentine's Day class. So what I loved about this class is because I'm going to make it super easy for you guys. I did grab these from the dollar store. And then I got a pack of these, which has 4 in one. I saw some of them had 5, but those are smaller. You kind of want to keep the hearts unison. You want to make sure they're the same size throughout the whole cake. I bought 2 of these. Now, depending on how big your cake is, I'm going with a 6-inch round. It depends on how big you're gonna go. So I don't think I'm gonna need more than 2 bags. So this cake is inexpensive and it's gravity defying and you're gonna save money. I'm all about saving you guys money. Y'all already know that. So you're gonna need your candy hearts. You're gonna need a skewer or a bamboo stick or acrylic stick, whatever you feel is gonna work best for you. You'll see as soon as we do that. We're gonna need a serrated knife or a bread carving knife, your spatula, your favorite buttercream, and I have a little bit of piping gel just to help for us to stick the hearts onto the buttercream, because the hearts can slide off buttercream, especially homemade buttercream. But if you buy bucket buttercream, you are pretty well off. It won't slide off, but you will have to use a little bit of piping gel just to stick it on there. All right, so I have a 4 1-inch rounds right here of red, white, purple, pink. I made it festive. You don't have to make it festive. It's completely up to you what you want to do. Now, what I like to do before putting any buttercream between the layers is I like to measure the layers out and then take them off and then put buttercream in between the layers. Now, let me tell you what I mean. Now, this is gonna help you with any kind of carved cakes you have going on. I do this with all my carved cakes because you don't waste buttercream, nor do you waste cake, and you don't have all this mess. Now, if you don't like this way, again, you could do it another way. I also have some fondant. We're gonna be using fondant, but that's not till later. So alternating your layers, depending on what you want, how you want it, okay? I think I'm gonna do purple on top. That's gonna look cute. All right, so it doesn't have to be this tall. Keep in mind, it's whatever you wanna do. I mean, we can even take the white out and just put purple and pink. Remember that once you start putting buttercream in between the layers, you're gonna get a bigger cake. You're gonna get more height. Now, you kind of want a TP shape because you want it to look like it's overflowing and running down the cake. It's completely up to you. If you want to do a dome shape, if you want to do a square, it's completely up to you. I'm just teaching you what I like best or what it looks best for me. Now, if you do your 4 1-inch layers and you don't like the height of it, you can always take it off. So I'm going to do this for right now. I can always add the white at the bottom because we're just going to carve the top off, okay? Now, don't carve too much. We're just trying to get like a teepee shape, not a super triangle, but more of a little dome teepee shape. So all I'm doing, remember, carve a little at a time, as you do not want to carve off too much. We can save it. I can show you how, but if you carve too much, then you're gonna have to use cake cement. And what I mean by cake cement is the good old cake cement that I use. Now, save these scraps for cake pops or I mean, there's just so many things you could do with it. So many things, like the possibilities are endless. Now, keep carving. We want this layer to be big, obviously. We're not gonna carve this one. So we can go up this way, like so. Like that. And just hold it. Now you see what I mean by not putting frosting between the layers, because you get nice dry cake that you can use and you don't have to mush together, unless you're using a cake that is all one size. I mean one color. If you're not doing this tricolor, it's completely up to you. All right, so basically we had something like a doll shaped, you know those doll cakes where the dresses look like, yeah, the dress is the cake. That's basically what we're trying to look, kinda, but we do want to teepee it up on the top. So do not try to make this look pretty. The prettier you try to make it look, the more neater it will look, and it won't look like the box is falling over in the illusion. Again, that's my advice, that's my tip. I think I can add the white on top, and I can measure this out, and it's probably, I'm going in here, it's probably 4 inches. And if it's 4 inches, by measuring, yep, it's a little under, sorry about that. Again, I have baby animals that do not behave. All right, so once we got that measured out, give me a second. All right, now once we got this measured out, that's about 4 inches. I can measure this out and do like a 4-inch round circle, put it on top, or again, I can put it on the bottom. It's completely up to you. You see how we just got height? But I don't think we need all that cake. It's completely up to you, you guys. Remember, don't be afraid to try new things. I don't think we need that much cake. I'm gonna do cake cement with this, just in case if you guys feel like you messed up. I'm gonna show you how to fix your mistake. All right? So I'm just carving, making it smooth. And you're not even carving that much off the cake. You're just carving a little bit. So we're all gravy. Now, yes, you might say, we don't have that teepee shape yet. No, we don't. Because I'm going to show you with the cake cement. Now, when you are doing this for a client, please advise them that there is a cake cement, cake dough, and that's just equivalent as glue for, just say that's what the cake needs. I mean, you guys have contracts, you know what to place in them. I'll have more of that stuff in my cake and finance class. Super excited for that one. All right, so I got a pretty good dome thing looking going on right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bowl and I'm gonna put the cake in there as if we were making cake pops, but this is not the best method to make cake pops. If you made cake pops, you already know. And I'm using pink because that's what we carved off the top. You can use the white cake. You can, again, you guys, you don't have to do this method. All I'm doing is just showing you how you can save your cake. Say we did a big hole in there, was a big dent in there. We can put some cake cement and it would be fine. So all I'm doing is basically putting buttercream in there. And it's more buttercream than usually you do for cake pops, okay? That's why it's called cake cement. Now the great thing about cake cement is that it has cake, it has the buttercream, So it will hold up if you put it in the refrigerator. If you feel like you need more cake in there, great. You can mold it, you can shape it. It's definitely not cake pop dough, but it's definitely sturdy enough for cakes. So if you ever mess up or if there's a hole or something, just make cake cement. Look at that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is scoop it out. Now, do not do this if you have another layer of cake. Just put that other layer of cake and carve, okay? But I'm just showing you with cake cement what you can do. Now, you don't have to use your hands. I like getting dirty. You guys already know that. Now, I would add a little bit more cake to this, but voila. I mean, all you have to do is pop it in the refrigerator or the freezer for 5 minutes. Remember, the freezer is your best friend when you're making cakes. And it molds itself. I promise you, this is gonna be a lifesaver if you ever mess up on a cake. I mean, I've had some sculpted cakes that I've had to deliver, and transportation wise, they broke. So again, I had to fix it, but I had cake scraps and buttercream. So, all right, the great thing about this is that if you wet your hands a little bit, you can mold the cake cement. It's literally like cement. So, and then there's your little teepee. I mean, you can make this even more squared or more triangled, not squared, and just more boxed if you want. It's completely up to you. You can keep carving away until it's however you want it. Remember, this is a little 6-inch cake. This is not an 8-inch cake. So the bigger the cake, the more hearts we're going to use. Now, doesn't this remind you of a kind of like a doll? I guess you could use this as a doll dress method too. All right, so we're gonna move all those cake scraps. It looks like a freaking party. How pretty does that look? I'm gonna put those away. We're gonna pop this in the refrigerator for a little bit, in the freezer for 5 minutes, and then we'll be right back. All right, we let that firm up in the freezer. We can take it apart. Now, we're taking it apart because we haven't filled it yet. Some of you were probably like, why hasn't she filled it with buttercream yet? I'm getting there. And then you'll notice the height. So right here I have my spatula in some warm water. The best thing you could do is have your spatula in warm water or some water just to make sure your buttercream goes on smooth. It doesn't stick to the spatula. So that's a really good tip. If you're getting your buttercream stuck onto your spatula, make sure you have it in a cup of water when working with buttercream, okay? All right. Now, as close as possible, try to put it back like a puzzle, okay? We're gonna put some more. Now, if it seeps off the side, that's fine. Dip your buttercream in your spatula in the water. And again, you're just smoothing it out, creating the layer of buttercream. And then you, again, to the best of your knowledge, and we put that all together. Now, we are gonna end up putting buttercream all around it. Remember, you do not have to do this dome of cake cement. You don't have to do it. Let me repeat, you don't have to do it. I was just showing you how to fix a cake if you didn't make enough cake or bake enough cake. Now, don't be afraid to start crumb coating it. Dip your spatula in the water so your buttercream does not stick to your spatula. And that way your cake won't come apart. I've heard the horror stories. Okay, now we're gonna put some more buttercream and we're gonna fill the whole cake with buttercream. If you don't want to put it on the cake cement, you don't have to. Let's just pretend it's cake. So all we're doing is just putting a layer, crumb coating the whole cake in buttercream. Now, I do have a recipe for buttercream. You don't have to use it. Use whatever works for you. I always say whatever works for you. If it's something that's always worked for you, please, by all means, don't switch up your routine because you'll be mad at yourself. Now, don't worry about the little crumbs that do get in there because that's perfect. That means it's going to blend in with all the hearts that we're going to stick on there. Yes, we're going to do a little bit of labor work, but the most part, this cake is super easy, super fun, and it's gravity defying. Make sure to keep your spatula wet, or at least moistened. Everyone loves that word, moist. Make sure to keep it wet, just so you don't catch any crumbs or the cake starts coming off on your spatula. Okay, good crumb coat going on. You can put another layer of buttercream on this if you want. Completely up to you. I feel like you won't need it, but again, not up to me. It's up to you how you want to do this. I'm showing you my way, my technique. All right, so the whole cake is buttercreamed, crumb coated. Now, is the cake supposed to be perfect? No. Can it be like a triangle? Yes, you can carve a triangle. But the whole point to the cake is that a mound of sweethearts is fallen over. So you kind of want it to look like it's messy. But again, completely up to you. Now, open up your sweethearts. Remember, I got these for $1. It's a steal. Now, we're going to open up our box very carefully. We don't want to rip it because we want it to look like the box is opening up and everything's falling out. If it does rip, use another box because this one looks like, or just cut it, which I'm going to have to do. There we go. All right. So don't throw away those broken pieces, okay? We're going to need that. Now, if your buttercream is too firm, you put it in the freezer, you put it in the fridge because you couldn't work on it, and now it's in the fridge or freezer. That's okay. You can definitely get some piping gel. I have the recipe down there to make it yourself. Get some piping gel like this, or buy piping gel, or buy mirror glaze, or buy any of that stuff that's close to consistency, and just put it all over your cake. Now, you can brush it on if you put it in the freezer and it's firm enough, but I would definitely just smear it all over your cake because it gives that extra glue for the sweethearts to stick to your cake. I mean, I love using piping gel on all my cakes. You can't taste it. There's no taste to it. It's clear. It's shiny. But it acts like a glue agent. You could use royal icing, or you can use more buttercream and stick it on the back of the heart. But what you want to do right now is start covering the bottom first. Now this may take you a little while, and I'm not going to show you the full step process. I'm going to finish the cake and then we'll come back. But just do the bottom first. I would lay out some sweethearts, sorry, on the bottom if you want. You can do it on the bottom like that and just lay it on the bottom. It's really completely up to you. It's like a building a puzzle. Now, because you have those awesome colors in the cake that will peek through some of the stuff, you don't have to worry about your sweethearts looking weird or disfigured or some of them just not looking right. It's really awesome. You just put it all together. That's all you have to do. And you just, it's like a puzzle. You're just putting it together, figuring it out. Now, you see there's a little gap there, right there. You can tell a little bit. That's why the broken pieces are here to rescue you. You just insert it like so. Ta-da! And then you move on. Now, I would put this in the fridge and then work on it again, but it's completely up to you. Completely up to you, you guys. All right. So I'm gonna fill the rest of the cake. You don't need to see me fill the rest of the cake. It's gonna take about a good 10 minutes. I'm gonna fill the rest of the cake and then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna make this a gravity-defying cake. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. This is probably gonna take me about 20 minutes to fill. And like I estimated, it's gonna be 2 bags for a 6-inch carved cake. And what I'm doing is making sure I'm filling everything up. I'm even making some like go out like that. And that way it just gives it character and it shows, you know, they are falling, they're truly falling. You can even put some more piping jar or edible glue and, you know, put some more right here, and I'll show you that as soon as I'm done filling it up. So as you see, halfway done, a couple more to go, and then we're gonna stick the bamboo stick in there. Alrighty, okay, so we left this top portion with no hearts at all whatsoever because we still want to measure out if we're going to put the dowel or the bamboo stick through where you want to put it. So I would suggest a little to the top, slanted, like so. Now, depending on what you're going to use, if you want higher results, use something longer, obviously. Stick it through the top, like that. All right, so once you do that, what you want to do is get a piece of fondant. Make it pretty thick, and it should hold up. Now, we're just going to roll it, measure. Don't need that much. Roll it out to a skinny hot dog. Now figure out where it's gonna sit, about right there. Now you can put edible glue or the piping jar, whatever you choose to put on the stick so that the fondant stays. You can stick it through the fondant. You don't have to do it while it's in the cake. You can do it off the cake if you're nervous and then stick it in. So that. I mean, the more you put it on there, the more elastic the fondant will be. The fondant I'm using is Fantasia fondant, so it's pretty dang elastic. So you want to flatten it out, and then you want to continue putting your hearts around your cake. That way you have coverage on the this little guy that we just put in their bamboo stick. I swear, this pregnancy brain is real. I forget everything. I forget words and vocabulary, things that should be easy to me. Now, a good tip for this cake is using that piping gel to your advantage. If you don't have time to put in the refrigerator wait, use the piping gel because it's gonna allow everything to stick. I mean, if you have edible glue, piping gel, mirror glaze, and I'll put links up. I'll put a recipe up if you have time and you can wait and you can order it. Fine, I will send you. I will put in the description box below because I put everything in the description box. Remember, guys, everything is in the description box. If I miss something, you are more than welcome to email me or message me. Now, you can put little odds and ends popping out of the cake at this moment because this is where the explosion is happening from the top of the cake, and I cannot wait to see your guys's Valentine's Day cakes. Now, I haven't seen anything like this. I could be wrong, but I did this one last year and I did a bunch of private classes on it, and it was really fun. I mean, I love seeing all the cakes. Now, if you don't want to show off your work, you only want to show me and not share with everybody, great. Just let me know. That way I don't share it, because I love sharing off your guys' work. Okay, so the mound is there. You can stick some more piping gel onto the fondant. Now this is where the magic happens. Now if you have edible glue, same thing. Now you're gonna do this to the front and the back of the fondant, okay? And we're just gonna stick these little guys on there like that. Now if you have fondant that matches the color of the Sweet Tarts, by all means. I opened up the boxes and used the boxes instead of opening up the bags. So it took about a bag and a half for the 6-inch cake. But if you're doing an 8-inch cake, I would definitely be on the safe side and do about 4 bags. Another great thing is that this class is super inexpensive. You're going to the dollar store and you're buying all your stuff, all your ingredients, which is really inexpensive. Who doesn't love the dollar store? This cake was 1 box cake of white cake mix, and I divided that in 4 colors, and I baked them up in 4 1-inch layers. How super inexpensive is this cake? I mean, if you're just doing it for yourself, but if you're one of those people that I refuse to do box cake, well then you can do it however you want, but I love to save you guys money. You already know me. All right, so we're gonna leave a little bit of the fondant on the top, like so. And then we're gonna stick it in the box. And then that piping gel is gonna be stuck to the box. How awesome does that cake look? I mean, I love it. I love it. Now, again, it's completely up to you how you wanna create this little guy, but he's super easy, super inexpensive. If you use, like I said, if you do cake box mix, it's only going to take one cake box of white, divide that in 4 colors. Just get a pack of this, which is $1, 2 packs of the Sweetheart, which is $2. So in all actuality, it costs you about 1, 2, 3, 4 for the cake. About 10, I would say $10, $12, because you're counting the board and the buttercream. And so that and the little bit of fondant, right? So around $10 to $12, but you have to add your labor. So don't forget to put your time. If this is not for a client and this is for someone else or your family or whatever, obviously we're not including your time. I get that. It's more of a gift. So we're gonna put, I'm just gonna put like extra candies falling. Literally. So just put some extra candies, make it a little fun, bulkier. You can even use toothpicks and stick them out from right here and do the same version that you did with the fondant and put some edible glue piping gel and make it look like it's literally like just, I mean, kind of looks like Lucky Charms. You can do this method with anything. M&Ms, with any cereals. You can use this method with anything. Now, if you want a round cake and it be like this, fine, perfect. Completely up to you. Just know that that's the method for the illusion. Now, you can use chocolate, you can use modeling chocolate, you can use royal icing, you can use anything. But when I'm working with fondant and with cake, it's usually, fondant is usually my go-to. And I do have a code for Fantasia fondant, and you can save 10% off of your full purchase. Now, put your extra little candies in there, like the little spare broken parts. Now, go in there. I'm gonna cut this. I wanna show you how cool the color looks on it. It does look like it's tipping over, so. Now, when you cut this, make sure it's in the refrigerator for well, at least an hour so it firms up and you cut it. Because if you cut it, you're gonna get a lot of mess because this is not firm yet. And then it is candy, so the candy is hard. So you want the cake to be hard too. So just remember that. You're gonna get a little bit of a mess. Now, when you're doing big size cakes like this, or shall I say like tall, you're going to have to cut the slice in half to get the servings for your clients, okay? But, ta-da! Look how awesome that looks. That looks freaking awesome, you guys. I just want to say thank you for joining me in this class. I make everything super easy for you. And I'll be coming out with more classes as Baby Bella allows me. I'll be doing more in-person classes. I'll be traveling more when she gets here. So I promise, I will answer you guys. You email me, message me. As always, keep learning. Don't give up. Keep educating yourself. And every penny is worth it. I'll always do affordable classes. If you have a question, just email me. All right, guys? Love y'all.